I forgot to even turn my mic back on. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio podcast. I am the Cake Dive, and I had to call an emergency episode because what on earth is going on with Nicholas Cantu and Dream? I wasn't expecting to talk about this episode. So what's going on with them? Basically, a fake Dream account, a Dream account on Twitter that is, because I'm not going to call it by its other name, was basically making a bunch of random posts, and Nicholas Cantu decided to quote tweet and start dragging Dream, not realizing that it was a fake account. Basically, if I go back to these tweets, basically it started off with the Dream fake account talking about sending a post of Dream, a photo of Dream saying, "Who want me?" And Nick replied, "I want you blank," because I can't say the word on the podcast. And then the fake account said blocked. And then Nick quote tweets that and says, "Bro, when you an actual blank, you can't joke about being a blank," because he didn't realize that he was interacting with a parody account of Dream. Another tweet that he posted basically is in response to Dream himself talking about who saw the tweets and was basically like, "Hey, you're responding to a parody account," and then revealed to the public that Nick was just absolutely brawling him, just like basically assaulted him, and was like saying a bunch of different like name calling him a bunch of different things. And Nick quote tweets that tweet racist, homophobic, and ableist as well. So basically, he kind of said he kind of confirmed everything except the racial part. He said, he won't do anything that's racist because that doesn't fly with him. And then he ends the tweet with, "Hire a Harvard professor to calculate why, despite texting every Twitch streamer in Austin, not a single one wanted to fuck you," which is crazy. Then they go back and forth. A bunch of memes and stuff go out from it's just dragging him on a public forum through the public town square that is Twitter. Then this basically rears its head to a few days ago, where Dream posted a video of Nick in the Uber, very clearly drunk, very clearly not sober, with the interaction with him and the Uber driver. There is, sorry, my alarm went off because I'm about to go see the Hunger Games in a few minutes, y'all. So I was like, let me record this episode real quick before I go see this movie. I might give you guys two Cake Radio episodes this Thanksgiving this Thanksgiving / Black Friday holiday weekend, because I'm feeling gracious. Plus, I really want to talk about this topic, so I wanted to give you guys a Hot Topics-esque episode on its own, followed by an actual film-based episode on its own as well. But I digress. Dream posted this video of him interacting with the Uber driver, very clearly drunk. He is saying some homophobic slurs. He's saying the R slur, which is an ableist slur. And he's also saying some things that are anti-Semitic. And basically have thoughts after watching the full video and seeing all these interactions exchange. The biggest thing that I got out of this entire situation is Dream doesn't like the fact that people don't like him. And because of the fact that everybody knows that he doesn't like the fact that people don't like him, it adds fuel to the fire. And he's not acting rationally with any of the decisions that he has in this situation or the situations preceding this. Because why are you posting a video of a 20-year-old who's still in the United States of America, where his video was recorded, still under the legal drinking age, very clearly drunk, recording him at using this video as blackmail. When you are a legal adult, you technically have him under your care because you are the legal adult. You are the one who is trying. You have to kind of be the guardian temporarily because you have to kind of watch and make sure things are going good. And one, you're failing. You failed to do that. You failed to uphold that obligation. And two, you recorded him to eventually use as potential blackmail because he was dragging you. He also assaulted you, and you felt a type of way about it. It goes back to my previous point in saying that, you know, people know that Dream doesn't like the fact that he's not liked, and it's known because of the way that he's moved around and the way he's very poorly acknowledged a lot of the things that have been brought up and dragged about him. So, because the public knows that he does not like being disliked and that it makes him feel some type of way and that he'll eventually react, a lot of people who very clearly hate him are just going to keep going at him, keep dragging him, stuff like that. Like, that is just how it is. This is something that is known with like how the internet moves, and this is something that has been done with, less controversial like creators and artists. So the way that the way this situation was handled, the fact that he, you know, was not taking this situation well, the fact that he came out and said, "Hey, Nicholas assaulted me," and he also was saying a lot of these things, and the fact that the whole internet was like, "You know what? We gonna side with Junkie Janker here." That very clearly made him feel some type of way, and that's why the video came out, because he was hoping to potentially shift the word of public opinion. Because, I mean, even taking Dream and taking the people who are in a situation out of context, imagine if you were like physically attacked by somebody and you came forward and said, "Hey, this person did this to me," and you brought up some other situations as well. Imagine if everyone was just like, "You know what? I don't give a fuck about what you're saying right now. I think it's funny that you just got your shit dragged." Like, that's just how the situation was. But because it's Dream and because it's, Gumball Watterson, it makes the situation a lot more, entertaining for people. Additionally, we need to give everybody the lashings here. Nick definitely deserves some lashings. I think that, brought up the fact that, oh, like, they're both shitty people. Misery has company, or whatever the saying is, because, the video literally has him, in a visual form, showing the fact that he's like saying numerous slurs. He's saying a lot of things that are, very hateful or could be alluded to something that's hateful. And it's something that he needs to answer to, regardless of if it's Dream that he was interacting with, or regardless of the fact that he was very clearly drunk. He still needs to answer for, the things that he said and the damage that saying those things can cause. I'm not concerned. Well, I'm not worried that he would not say anything. I think the way that he moves, he definitely would go out on Twitter or like make an address statement saying something like this. And I'm recording this, on the weekend on a Sunday before, I drop this on like a Friday or Saturday. So within that time, there certainly can be, a statement. There certainly can be more videos, more footage and stuff that could go out, more beef, more drama that could come out. And if it does, if you're watching this on the ZCN Ticket YouTube channel, for sure, go in the comments and let's have a discussion. A peaceful one, for sure. But I think that, he certainly has a lot of things to answer to with this, because there's a lot of things that he said that, can't stand. I think the homophobia low-key might be something that can be pushed to the side because there's a little bit of a nuance to it. There's a lot of people who are saying that he is, a part of the community. There are tweets of him saying that he's pansexual. There's other people saying that he might be bisexual. Regardless of if he is or not, there is that's a discussion that still needs to be had, for sure. Some of that needs to be clarified. And outside of that, the other things that he has said in that conversation still need to be answered to, for sure. That's where the lashing stopped, for sure, because I think outside of this big situation, outside of the things that he said in this moment, a lot of the other things that he said, especially in that video as well, some of the stuff about dragging Dream specifically, kind of fits the behavior of what like Nick has presented online as well. So some of it is not surprising, to say the least. He obviously still has the answer to it because again, he's like an actor. He's still someone who is like he's a public facing, creator. He's someone who's out there. He's a celebrity. He still has to like answer to this for sure because this drama is going to be talked about on Thanksgiving. This drama might be even talked about through like the end of the year, the beginning of 2024, the way that this situation was going. Like, I think people will be talking about this for a minute. So he definitely has an obligation to discuss it, come forward and say, hey, this is the context. Like, he brought up that he was drinking and that he's working on his consumption of alcohol in previous tweets before the video even came out. But he still has to acknowledge the other stuff for sure. That's where the lashings end. Dream, you got lashings, baby, and you got a lot more to him. I'm sorry. Like the way that this was so poorly handled is already being studied. I was about to say it needs to be studied, but it's already being studied. It's the fact that he not only kind of showed himself and said that he was angry at the fact that people are still dragging him for a lot of the allegations and a lot of the things that he said in the past, but it's also the fact that after seeing this interaction with a fake account and coming forward and saying, hey, stuff happened, and people, he still handled that. He still handled coming forward very poorly. And, people were still kind of making fun of him and dragging him for, getting dragged by Nicholas Cantu. It's the fact that he posted this video, and if it's the fact that he had a video and recording of someone who is still under the legal drinking age, someone who is being watched by you in this temporary moment, and you are like recording them under the influence and having that as blackmail. Like, that is something that is just absolutely unacceptable. It brings a lot of context to this conversation, and that's one of the reasons why I'm even recording this episode in the first place. But it's still, I think a lot of people have not brought up the fact that that is like the most immoral thing that has happened in this moment, potentially, because you're someone who is older than the person that you're trying to bring attention to, older than the person that you're trying to like bring attention and potentially damage their career. Granted, they have some things in this video that is fair for them to be dragged for, fair for them to have to answer to, but it's the fact that you are not in a good moral standing either, because there's still many things that he has to answer to, both with this video and outside of this video, that he either refuses to answer to, or he has answered to incorrectly, and he refuses to improve and better himself for. So that is definitely something that needs to be, reckoned with in this situation. I would not be surprised if Dream didn't say anything about this. I wouldn't be surprised if he said something to make this worse, because that just seems to be the two buttons that he seems to operate on. He needs a PR team. He needs management. The way that he's this big and he does not have a PR team or a management team is very interesting to me. I know a lot of creators don't, but I also know a lot of creators who are not in the controversies and are not getting the trouble that he is getting into because they know how to make the right moves. Like, they know a little bit of common sense. But who won at the end of this beef, this drama, this whole situation? Their damn parody account on Twitter. I think that they won because like they've been making parody tweets for like the longest time about Dream. So I know that they're like kicking their feet and jumping for joy knowing that like they were able to drag out drama by the actual Dream and someone else who has been in interaction with Dream. Like, that's like, I know they're just cheesing cheek to cheek. Like, this is I know they're gonna be happy this Thanksgiving for sure, because they brought something to the table. But that's my thoughts for this drama. this is probably going up on Black Friday or like Thanksgiving morning or afternoon. I don't know. I need to, figure that out. But, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. If you are not celebrating, I hope you have a good rest of your week. If you have not subscribed to the Cake Radio podcast, be sure to subscribe on the ZCN Ticket YouTube channel or subscribe everywhere you stream podcast. And if you want to have discussion about this situation, if you want to share your thoughts, be sure to drop that in the comments below on the YouTube channel. Again, this has been Cake Dive, and this has been Cake Radio, a ZCN Ticket podcast. Talk to you later.